Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and Spider-Man Wolverine, issue number 2. Holy crap! I have told you, and while I was at it, I was telling you. Did you listen? If you sleep on Mark Guggenheim as a comic book writer, you are putting yourself into a voluntary coma. Never a good idea. Holy crap, this comic book surpassed all expectations. It is on par with the Predator versus people stuff, like the Predator versus Spider-Man, which I can't wait to read part 3 today. Holy crap. This is what comic books were made for. This issue, stuff like this, Spider-Man versus Wolverine, and vice versa. That's what this issue is. Let's talk about who made this comic book first. And I can't wait to get into the book itself. Okay. May have mentioned Mark Guggenheim is in fact the writer. Kari Andrews, the artist, at some of his absolute best in this issue. This, like the Spider-Man in here, looks very Todd McFarlane-ish. That's all I'm going to say. While still very much Kari Andrews. Holy crap, this is so good. Brian Rever on color art. VC's Travis Lanham doing the letters. And of course, Kari is doing the main cover. But every single one of these covers looks amazing. Like the variant covers are on fleek. I don't care how old that word is. On fleek in this issue. Holy crap, so good. There is officially CBU authorized. There is exactly zero wrong with this comic book. It is the perfect comic book. In fact, you guys are going to enjoy this. There are going to be zero people out there who do not actually thoroughly enjoy this comic book. For an issue number 2, that's usually when it goes down. This one said, booster to my butt. Boom, I'm in orbit. Yo! For a book to be this good. Look, don't forget, the Red Skull that's being talked about in here is not the official, like, Johann Schmidt, whatever, the evil Nazi dude. Excuse me, dying here. It's the Russian dude instead, the imitation Red Skull. And they're saying Wolverine worked for him at one point. And Wolverine can't quite remember what happened on that plane, but much like the whole Bucky Winter Soldier thing versus Stark's parents in the Civil War movie, Captain America Civil War. Yo, they're saying that I don't think I gave that spoiler. I may have, but I don't think I did. Anyway, this is issue 2, so we there. They're saying Wolverine killed Peter Parker's family. Killed his mom and dad. Mama and Papa Parker. The big spider duo. Yeah, the spider spawners. There we go. Anyway, yo. So Spider-Man is, of course, pissed off. And then Wolverine starts trying to talk some sense into him. And then Spider-Man talks himself out of that sense. And that happens like 2 more times. And I'm telling you, each and every one of them was as believable as the first. This wasn't a simple case of, you killed my mom, and just going in and charging after him. No. Better than the Captain America Civil War 2 thing with Tony Stark. You killed my mommy. No. He sits there, and there's some reasoning back and forth. Wolverine defends himself more intelligently than freaking the two in that movie did. These two are flat out doing their best to get to communicate what's in here to the other person while they're punching each other's domes. Holy crap, it is believable from the beginning to the end. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end of this, but I will hint on that eventually, that no matter how much he tries to control it, Wolverine does have a bit of a temper, right? This is the perfect comic book. I would love to hear how this comic book could have been any better in any way, shape, or form. There were two characters in this entire comic book. This whole comic book essentially boils down to a fight between two people who could both kill each other. As soon as I saw Spider-Man say, "I'm going to kill you," and I saw the art, the way that it's moving, I said, this is why they're calling it Spider-Man Wolverine. Not anything else. They're calling it specifically the name that they're calling it, and they're calling it Volume 2. It is, in fact, Volume 2, because Volume 1 was the one where Wolverine tricked Spider-Man into killing someone. Something that should not be so easily forgiven. And now Spider-Man being voluntarily willing to kill someone, because Wolverine is still that same Wolverine. This is the perfect comic book. It's not the best comic book I've ever read. There could be 1,000 perfect comic books, but comic books should be written in a certain way. I'm telling you, Guggenheim and Andrews working together, congratulations, Marvel. You just discovered a power team. This is one of those teams, like when you see Court of Owls, you're like, I need to see these guys working with each other again. When you're seeing like the original, the Captain America series where the Winter Soldier was introduced for the first time, Bucky came back. Spoilers for a comic book that's like a decade and plus old, right? A buck and change. Anyway, which also reminds me of the tribute to Butch Juice that I saw in here, the Ed Brubaker stuff. He's the only one who actually talks about it, and it's beautiful. That tribute's in this comic book, right? I'm sure it's another one too, but this is the one I read it in. It's my first Marvel comic of the week. Absolutely beautiful. But this is going to go down as one of those. This should go down as one of those super teams of Guggenheim and Kari Andrews. Such great storytelling. The writing and the art. Such incredible storytelling. This comic book right now is better than Volume 1. Like that. This is so good. Guys, if you are not buying this comic book, we are not friends. We're not friends. You don't get to see me doing something, working some lab, walk down, got a shopping cart, whatever I'm doing. And you're just like, hey, Professor, what's going on? I may have to turn to you and be like, stop. You clearly know me from Comic Book University. Did you like Spider-Man and Wolverine issue number 2 from Volume 2? If your answer is not an immediate and resounding, hell yeah, we are not friends. You don't get to talk to me. Okay? It's as simple as that. That's how good this book was. Oh, amazing. This comic book is what those pages that were used were made for. It's like that. Cannot praise this issue enough. I'll talk to all of you guys later. Love, peace, and hair grease. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Stop looking at my hair. Comic Book University. Class dismissed.